Good evening, everyone. I would like to call the March 19th, 2024 Hamilton Township Council meeting to order. This meeting is held with the benefit of public notice as required by the Open Public Meetings Act. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Papero?
Here.
Ms. Phillips?
Here.
Mr. Ty?
Here.
Mr. Carabelli?
Here.
Mr. Whalen is absent.
Can we please, ladies and gentlemen, can we please rise for the salute to the flag and remain standing for the invocation?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, may you continue to watch over us and always guide our judgment. May we pray in particular this evening for those in uniform who fight to protect us through conflicts at home and abroad. As always, let us pray for those suffering with loss of life or illness and those suffering with addiction. Continue to bless our country and township, and may we as a government represent the best interest of our community. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
So before we get into the agenda this evening, I would just want to give an update to our consent agenda. Resolution 24-137. This was a resolution approving 4 affordable housing manuals: Hamilton Township Rehabilitation Program, Affordability Assistance, Rental Grant Program, AKA 1 month's rent, Affordability Assistance Closing Cost Program, and Affordability Assistance Energy Efficiency Program. Total program maximum $6,228,000 combined. Can I please have a motion on the amendment to the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Papero?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 4-0. On to communications.
Okay. That brings us to the joint commendations for the Nottingham High School Consumer Bowl participants, and I'd like to say winners. So I actually, it gives me great pleasure to announce this proclamation because I had the great pleasure of being one of the judges at the Consumer Bowl when this took place a few months ago. A tremendous job by the team here from Nottingham. Well coached, Mike, great job in putting this group together. Let me read the commendation and then the proclamation, and then we'll get into council comments. Whereas the New Jersey High School Consumer Bowl is an educational competition for high school students, and whereas it was established in 1996 by Donna Giovanetti to educate young adults on a variety of consumer issues, and whereas Nottingham High School has been bestowed the honor of being the 2024 Mercer County champions, and whereas it gives us a great deal of pleasure to express to all the members of the Nottingham High School Consumer Bowl team, on behalf of Mayor Jeffrey Martin, the Hamilton Township Council, and all the citizens of the Township of Hamilton, our sincere congratulations for winning the Mercer County Consumer Bowl, and be it jointly resolved by Mayor Jeffrey S. Martin and the Council of the Township of Hamilton in the County of Mercer and State of New Jersey that this resolution of commendation be and hereby is adopted, honoring Jake Burke, he was the captain, Jack Burke, captain, Danielle Leon, Zachary Shah, Zobia Chaudhry, Mark Tizak, sorry about that, and Michael Bendorf as the teacher and the advisor, for their outstanding contribution and for the honor that they have brought to our community. Be it further resolved that best wishes be and hereby extended to all team members, families, and friends for continued good health and success in their future endeavors. And I was talking to their advisor, Michael. They have an upcoming competition for regionals. Is it later? It's in April.
16th.
April 16th.
Freehold. And then if they win that, then they go on to the state final.
And just so my council colleagues, I think, overheard me, but the amazing thing and impressive thing about this was they beat Heightstown, who was the, just a juggernaut. They won for 10 years in a row, and as a judge, someone was complaining that I may have a conflict, but I was behaved. So, but it was an impressive performance. They were down, I can tell you that, but then we went to a second rapid fire round, whatever it was, and that's where they accelerated, did amazing. So, tremendous job, guys, and all of them are going off to, I think, during the Consumer Bowl, they were talking about where they're headed off to and their expectations for college and beyond. And so it's so exciting to have you guys put all the time and effort into such a meaningful endeavor, like just understanding consumer and consumer products and consumer protection and why that law was established so long ago and the importance of it. As you grow older and you make decisions on more decisions on what you want to purchase for yourself or for others. So thank you for being here, and thank you for the way you competed a few months ago. Yeah.
So, do you guys have your speeches ready? You knew you had to give speeches tonight, right? No, I'm just kidding. Congratulations. I'm proud of you. I'm going to be rooting for you at regionals.
I just have a question. Where's everybody going to college?
Well, hopefully, they're waiting on their final decisions, right? Everybody is? But Zovia's number one is where?
Princeton.
Princeton.
Carnegie Mellon.
University of Pennsylvania. Princeton.
Okay.
UCMJ.
All right, North Stars.
I'm going to do a picture.
I just want to say congratulations as well, and especially as a parent of a sophomore at Nottingham, and my daughter graduated last year from Nottingham. I know you guys are amazing, and I congratulate you, and good luck at regionals, and hope you go on to states, and hope you all get into your first choices. And there's nothing wrong with TCNJ.
Yeah,
That's right.
Mike, where's regionals?
It is, it's at.
Freehold, you said.
It's in Freehold, East Freehold. It's at the fire hall or something.
Okay.
The fire academy down there in Monmouth Fire Academy. I think that's what
Okay.
it is. It's April.
Do you know who you're competing with? Is it 3 other schools? No.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
That's
You know,
right.
All right.
If we're prepared,
We're prepared.
fine, you know?
Let's see a quick picture. How about that? Yep.
You're standing up front. Yeah, definitely. You write it down there.
We'll come back after regionals and states.
Yeah.
When you win
Do this
those
again,
two.
Right?
Yep.
So my North Stars, you guys are free to leave if you want to stay.
And they're very
but-
busy. We got 2 people in the golf, and they came from golf practice.
I understand.
We almost didn't make it back. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a
for
good
being
night.
here. I appreciate it.
All right. Hopefully, we'll see you in a couple months.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Good luck. Good luck.
That's right. Okay,
All right, let's go.
Madam Clerk. Motion to adjourn? No, No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He's gonna kill you.
Yes.
A
let's do
motion
it.
for the communications, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Papero?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 4-0. On to resolutions. Resolution 24-121, Resolution of Hamilton Township, County of Mercer, State of New Jersey supporting Seville Row Manufacturing LLC's application to the Cannabis Regulatory Commission for a Class 1 cannabis cultivator and/or a Class 2 manufacturer's license.
So tonight we have with us Zeke Dewan and Nick Peel representing Seville, and this is a project that's scheduled for 3 NAMI Lane. While Zeke and Nick, whoever wants to just give a little bit of an overview of the project and why you're here this evening, that would be appreciated.
So, yeah, just to give you a 2-second background
Yeah.
on me.
That'd be great.
Is this on or no?
Should be.
Should be.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I was in the, grew up in,
Can you just state your first name?
oh
Yes,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Zeke-
Thank you.
Zeke-
Good catch.
Zeke Dewan is my, Zeke's actually a nickname. My real name's Anurag, but everybody calls me Zeke. It's easier. Grew up in Plainsboro, West Windsor, not too far from here. Went to New York, did finance in New York and in Europe for about 25 years. And then kind of in the middle of COVID, I said, what the heck am I doing? Like, let me spend some time with my family. My dad has been an entrepreneur since 1980. He's had his small manufacturing business in Hamilton since the late 80s, like 1989. He's been operating out of NAMI Lane and Marlin Drive, and kind of pushed me to do my own thing. I was involved in the property space for a long time and had been thinking about getting into cannabis, but I wanted to study the space for a while, did that for a lengthy period of time, and then, kind of got him on board and decided to move forward, and hired Nick as a consultant. Nick has been in the space for about 20 years. He comes from the West Coast, where it's been around legally for over 10 years. And now we are using our site at NAMI Lane Units 4 and 5 to hopefully start a craft cultivation and manufacturing business.
How many employees, Zeke?
Uh,
Do you anticipate? Yeah.
Yeah, so I can speak to this.
Approximately 25.
25.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
Yes, for the record.
I'm
Thank you. I
Nicholas
appreciate it.
Peel.
So the project itself, now, just so people are aware,
Yes.
you're coming here this evening for a letter of support from the council body and from the administration. They then take this to the Cannabis Commission regarding this site, this location, and get approval from them. And then in theory, it would then go to the planning board locally
Yes.
for us to approve the plans on the actual site development and things of that nature. And then it would come back to us for final approval for that project when you're about to, go ahead.
I have a question. This is 3 NAMI Lane? Is that,
Yes.
isn't there a school next door?
The Goddard School
There's a school
on that
next door.
street.
It's gotta be a certain distance from the school, correct?
It is. It's the minimum required distance.
It's right next door.
That would all come out during the process
Okay.
anyway, right? To make sure that it's compliant with state law and then also with our planning board rules and regs as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe Fred Dumont went out and kind of verified that.
Okay. I just,
Good questions.
yeah, when I heard the address, I knew there was a school back there and I Googled it and found
Okay.
it's next door.
Okay, any other questions?
Good luck with everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wish you good luck.
I don't know if you want to speak to the business. I mean,
Yeah,
Just to get a-
any other further comments, Nick? If you want to,
One-
feel
one-
free.
Before Nick speaks, just to give you a bit of an idea on what we're trying to do in the cannabis space, is we really want to focus on craft product. There's a lot of MSO product, and MSO is sort of mass market product. So just to make it even simpler, there's a lot of Budweiser and Coors and that sort of stuff. We want to focus on the IPA of cannabis. It's going to be a small market, a niche market. It's kind of, my dad's done niche kind of manufacturing all his life, and he's done really well. And I think it'll take a longer time to grow the business, but, you know, if we build a good brand, I think we could be here for a really, really long time. So we're trying to do that, but I'll let you speak to this.
Yeah, and just what Zeke was saying is that we want to focus on having a quality product. We also want to focus on keeping the town and the state happy. And so that means odor mitigation and security will be in place to all the state and local standards. And I have practice with this out west. So, you know, I have a facility in Oregon I had for 5 years. So I dealt with all types of security issues, odor mitigation, all of that. So I'm very familiar with that. And I don't think that'll be a problem at all. And we definitely want to make sure that we keep security and odor down for the school next door.
Thank you.
We keep all of that in mind.
Okay.
And when do we, the goal, anticipation during the, when do you foresee this project, you know, opening up its doors?
operational.
Yeah, operational.
Yeah, so once, you know, we get clearly municipal approvals and state approvals, it takes about 12 months.
12 months, that's what I thought. Okay. Thank you. I don't have any further questions.
Yeah, I was just taking a quick look. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Resolution 2.
A motion.
Do you want to, okay, oh yeah, let's do a motion.
These are individual.
Yes, yeah, let's do that, okay. Can I have a motion?
I make the motion to move resolution 124-121.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
I'm going to abstain due to my work with the NJEDA.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 3-0. Next, we have Resolution 24-122, resolution authorizing the issuance of a one-year Class II manufacturing license to Mule Extracts LLC.
Okay, now this was a business that we came in, probably, see you later, guys.
Thank you.
This was a business that came to us probably about 2 years ago. They have reached out to us for a letter of support from the administration, from the council body. They went before the Cannabis Commission. They got approval. They presented their plans before the planning board, and now they're coming up to us to move forward with their issuance of a one-year Class II manufacturing license, and this is on Thomas Rhodes Drive. And this project, I believe, is roughly around 20 to 30 employees, if I remember from when I read over this last evening. And they are going to make a $25,000 initial investment with this issuance. And then there's obviously the 2% sales tax that we, as a municipality, will be able to take in from this project. I don't know if it's on a quarterly basis, Kathy. How's that work?
Well, we're working on that process now
Okay.
because we're going to need, them to report to us. So we'll probably try to do something like that with all of these once the permits are in and once they start business. So-
Okay.
And this is just getting their application for their license through this governing body. And they've already been through the police review of the application, the development review.
Development review. yeah.
Right, and then the final piece, once you all approve it, is finance, collecting that $25,000 fee, and then setting up those procedures for collection of the excise tax as time goes on, so.
Okay.
all right.
Any questions from the public regarding this resolution? Seeing none, can I have a motion?
Seeing no public comment, I move to close public comment and move on Resolution 2, 24-122.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
I'm going to abstain due to my work with the New Jersey Economic Development Authority.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 3-0. Next, we have Resolution 24-123, resolution authorizing the person-to-person and place-to-place transfer of an inactive alcoholic beverage control license 1103-33-010-014 Hammy Liquors LLC to Rainey Hospitality LLC.
Any questions from my council colleagues regarding Resolution 3?
No.
Any questions from the public? Seeing none, can I have a motion?
Council President, seeing no members of the public wishing to comment, I move that we close the public comment portion and move Resolution 24-123.
Can I have
I'll
a
second the
second?
motion.
Thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Reparo,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Ty,
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli.
Yes.
Passes 4-0. On to the consent agenda.
Okay. So we don't really have an elongated agenda this evening, but I'll give a quick synopsis. We have a transfer from the general liability fund to the workman's comp plan for additional claims that we've received. I think this was in 2023, from what I recall. There is a resolution for a self-examination of our budget. This is a requirement from the Department of Local Government Services. So the way that I understand this is every 3 years, Local Government Services will do an examination of our budget, but this is one of the years where we're doing our self-examination, one of the two off years. We have a sale of the $19.6 million in general improvement bonds for money already approved and borrowed, and there are 2 separate petty cash resolutions for water pollution control and the health department, and also several refunds for taxes, change of occupancy fees, and Bromley rental fees. Any questions from my council colleagues regarding this agenda, consent agenda?
No.
What's the, Kathy, what are they going to do with these petty cash funds? All $200 of it.
This is just for incidentals that they may need during the day that they can't, they don't take the time or the resources to do a requisition and a purchase order and all of that, which is how we're required to spend everything. But it's all logged and taken care of. There's one person that's in charge of the petty cash in each of the departments that have it. And this is really just a reissuance. One of them may be new, but the other is, I think, a reissuance. At the end of the year, in December, we have to collect them all back in. Finance does that, counts them. The auditor actually counts them. And then we deposit them back and then reissue them after the first of the year again. So I believe one of these is a reissue and the other may be a new one.
Yeah, authorizing reestablishment.
Yes.
See that?
Okay, there you go.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else? Anyone from the public wishing to comment on the consent agenda? Seeing none, may I have a motion?
Council President, I'll move to close public comment and move on consent agenda items CA1 through CA14.
I'll
Can I have a
second the
Thank
motion.
you. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Reparo,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Ty,
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli.
Yes.
Consent agenda CA1 through CA14 passes 4-0.
Okay.
Next, we're on to second reading ordinances, second reading and public hearing. 24-012, ordinance amending and supplementing the code of the Township of Hamilton, New Jersey, Part 2, General Legislation, Chapter 215, Fees, 215-6, Department of Health, Recreation, Senior and Veteran Services, and 215-13, Township Property Lease and Rental Fees Policies.
Any comments from council?
Nope.
Comments from the public? Seeing none? Can I have a motion?
Council President, seeing no members of the public wishing to comment, I move that we close the public comment portion and move ordinance 24-012 on second reading.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Reparo,
Yes.
Ms. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Ty,
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli.
Yes.
Passes 4-0. Ordinance 2, 24-013, bond ordinance providing aid to the municipal building redevelopment project located in the redevelopment area identified as Block 1922, Lots 5 and 7, in and by the Township of Hamilton in the County of Mercer, New Jersey, appropriating $60 million, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $60 million bonds or notes of the township to finance the cost therefore.
Any comments from council?
Another milestone in our progress toward our new municipal building.
Any comments from the public? Seeing none? May I have a motion?
Council President, I'll make a motion to close public comment and move on ordinance 224-013.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 4-0. Ordinance number 3, 24-014, ordinance amending and supplementing the Code of the Township of Hamilton, New Jersey, Part 2, General Legislation, Chapter 442, Swimming Pools.
Any comments from council?
So the main purpose of this is to ensure that private swimming pools are not being used for public purposes.
It really is, yes, in a way that some people have been renting out their private swimming pools to other people who don't live or live or reside there or are personal guests at their home. And as a result, though, the swimming pools are not necessarily safe for, we don't necessarily regulate how well you personally keep your pool with the levels of chemicals or whatnot. But if you're now doing it to the public, it has to live up to the code as set forth by the health code and the state health code. And so that's what that says.
So my only concern is there are summer camps in Hamilton that sometimes will take the kids to private pools for summertime swimming.
Well, what kind of it's literally private dwelling swimming pools. So it's probably, are they going to someone's private house? Or is it one of the parents that?
Sometimes.
That's something that we have to look into.
So that's just my concern. I don't want kids to be denied the opportunity to swim.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know that there's even money being charged or if they're just kind of allowing kids access.
Right, that is the difference. This is for the leasing or renting, but that might.
I don't want to see the Y getting in trouble because kids are swimming,
I'm sorry to interrupt. I think this is targeting, because I remember last summer, or the summer before, people were starting to kind of Airbnb their pools.
Yes.
And I get that.
Yeah, so
My concern is I don't want to prevent kids from being able to swim at summer camp. That's my only concern with it. And look, I'm willing to, for health reasons and for, public safety reasons, I'm going to vote yes on this. I just want to make sure that we're not jamming up our summer camps. That's all.
And it doesn't sound like they're falling into that same issue that we're addressing here. So
Okay.
I think it may be fine, but we'll look into it just to make sure. We don't want to mess up anybody's summer either.
Right. We don't want a whole bunch of sunburned kids coming to see us, right? Okay.
Any comments from the public on this?
Council President, I just had one.
Oh,
quick
I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's all right.
Go ahead.
How, do they register? How do we know to regulate and to enforce this? How would we know who to enforce it to?
Yeah, who is going to enforce this?
The health officer, and then it would be a violation of the ordinances that would go to municipal court. So usually we get complaints from neighbors. That's usually how we find out about them.
Okay. Thank you.
I didn't think we were going to need to do a deeper dive into this topic. Sorry, that was bad. All right. Any comments from the public?
That was bad.
Sorry.
That was bad.
Council President, see no members of the public wishing to comment. I move that we close the public comment portion and move ordinance 24-014 on second reading.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Reparo?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 4-0. Ordinance 24-015, Ordinance authorizing the execution of a solar lease agreement between the Township of Hamilton, the owner, and Solops Hamilton Solar Redevelopment LLC, the developer, for the property known and identified as Block 2154, Lot 21.
And we had a representative at last meeting from Solops, Hamilton Solar Redevelopment, discuss this project at length. It's a win-win for the town. We are going to have a lease arrangement of over 15 years and take in over $1 million in revenue from that. And Kathy, I forget, but I think it's an initial payment of 30-some thousand. Is it?
The initial payment is $1 million.
Oh, is
And then after the 15 years.
that's right. That's right. The annual lease fee, correct.
And, sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm just especially pleased with this, in light of the fact that climate change is real and it's man-made, that this single project is going to nearly wipe out the township's entire carbon footprint. And that's an amazing thing.
Well, and we're also utilizing that, which was an underutilized, right? And also a site that was in need of, it's a brownfield, so this is a good thing. So we're excited about it. So any other comments from my council colleagues?
I concur with Councilman Ty. It's a great step in the right direction.
Okay. And from the public? This is Patterson Avenue. This is right off of Cooser Road, the old McCranskys.
It's behind Colonial Firehouse. You know where the waste management, they park the waste management garbage trucks back there? You probably wouldn't have any reason to go back there. It's not, it's kind of a semi-industrial area. There's very old landfill that's just been sitting there for decades, dormant. So it's going to be a great use for the property.
Already.
Oh, yes.
For a while, right.
Which is not to imply it wasn't capped, but yeah, it's capped. So,
Can I have a motion then? Further comments from the public?
Seeing there's no comments from the public, I'd like to close the public comment portion and move ordinance 4/24015 on second reading.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 4-0. First reading and introduction, ordinance number 1, 24-016. Ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. NJSA 40A:4-45.14.
Council President, I move ordinance 24-016 on first reading.
I'll second.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 4-0.
That brings us to comments from the public. Anyone on our?
Can we take a pause for a minute?
Yes.
Before we go into the comments from the public, are we allowed to re-vote on a resolution that we already, can we amend our vote?
From the resolution for tonight,
Mm-hmm.
I think,
I have an issue because I'm looking at the ordinance, and the ordinance says that the cannabis facility has to be 1,000 feet from a school or 500 feet from a childcare. And I don't know that it is. Let me just look at the number. I would just like to amend the resolution that it passes pending zoning's approval.
Yeah.
I think that's important to put in there. I don't know what the distance is. I didn't catch it until just now. If Goddard School is considered a school, since it's in the title, then it has to be 1,000 feet. It's clearly not. If they're calling it a childcare, it has to be 500 feet. But there's also stuff in the ordinance that says it has to be out of sight, out of the line of sight from a school. It's clearly not. Unless you're going to put massive trees up, you're still going to see it. So.
and I know this was a class 2 license manufacturer.
Yes.
It's talking about, it says cannabis and medical cannabis establishments. It doesn't even dictate. It's 550-143, and it's number 5.
Right, yeah, it would apply.
So I don't want us to pass something that's against the ordinance. I would like zoning to have the opportunity to look at it. So I would like to amend the vote or amend the motion to say we approve it pending zoning's approval, because I think we're out of line otherwise.
I think you need to make a motion to reopen the resolution, and then you can discuss that on the record. Just basically say what you just said, and then you need to move to,
Move,
with a.
Just amend the vote.
move to amend.
Another motion.
Are we gonna amend the resolution to add a line about pending? And this is a procedural question, not on the substance of the
My
issue.
motion is going to be to vote on it, or to approve it pending approval by zoning. So our approval will be a yes, as long as zoning approves it.
So, two questions. This is the first go, they're asking for a letter.
Yes.
So,
No, this is authorizing,
No, this is a letter of support.
yeah, letter of support.
it has to go
Yeah.
to
Isn't it?
planning anyway,
Yeah, but-
or zoning, planning or zoning.
So, not right after this, right?
Not for a year, it might not be a year before
Right.
it goes to zoning.
So, but it's my understanding that the letter of support says that the town also is okay with the location that they're applying for, because when they make application to the state,
And that's false.
well, it may be false, right?
It could
And
be,
so
potentially.
what would you suggest that you could do it pending the review by our own,
Right, but I don't know.
right? Zoning office to say that it either meets the requirement or not,
Right.
and
If
then,
it doesn't, it
Uh,
doesn't.
How about something that I would say that our support for this letter of support, but the support for this company is contingent on the zoning.
how far?
How far?
1,056 feet.
Oh, he
It's
said he
0.2
just made it.
miles between the two.
It's what?
0.2 miles between Goddard School and 3 Nami Lane, which is equivalent to 1,056 feet.
The properties are actually
The
adjacent,
properties
right?
are closer, so it depends. I mean, this
I'm just
says,
going by Google address, 3 Nami Lane to Goddard School.
Right, we're not sure. So, and I'm sure this was looked at by our division, by our own department, but I don't know what that discussion was or what that review was, so.
the only problem is when I look at the ordinance, and the ordinance says located within 1,000 feet measured by walking from door to door. Listen, am I walking on a sidewalk? Am I walking to the grass? Are the doors?
Yeah, no, it's like
So-
walking legal.
And the second part of it is really my second issue, is because it says they shall erect physical barriers to block sight lines from the schools. So I understand. I'm just saying it should be conditional, because if they already put this and they're going to use our approval to get everything from the state, I don't want to be second guessed, and I don't want anything that's totally not true if we're not sure yet. Just because he came up and used the director's name, the director's not here to satisfy my needs anyway. So that'll be my question.
Do they have and again, this is a procedural, not on the substance of the issue. Do they have a time constraint with this? Do we know when they need council's
I don't know.
approval by in order to?
I'd be willing to make the motion as long as zoning it's approved by zoning. I'm okay with that. I don't think we need to table it. We could table it, but I think a motion saying we approve it pending zoning board's approval is sufficient, because we're not giving them a
Do you want zoning
license.
board, or do you want a review by our zoning division under our Department of Community
Regarding the
Development?
location.
Right?
Right.
And we can have the officials review it tomorrow, right? To
That's-
see,
I think
to
that,
make sure.
So it's pending.
Pending
Make
a
it contingent,
memo.
make the approval contingent upon the approval of that requirement of the distance by our Community and Economic Development Department.
And they could add like a memo to the letter saying
we
looked at
verified that
this
this is,
matter,
yeah.
verified this.
Yes.
Yeah, it does look like in the backup that Mike Cosma, our zoning officer, I don't have his letter, but it looks like from the emails, it says that here's the letter from Mike Cosma, and then the response is terrific, thank you. So it looks like he has approved it.
Well,
But we don't
know the
Where's the
details,
assumption?
right?
Yeah.
And there's nobody here from that department to confirm it for us, so. We can either table it or make the motion.
Let's make that motion. I think that's.
I'm comfortable. I'll make
Okay,
it.
okay, go ahead.
I'd like to reopen, for the record, reopen Resolution 1, which is 24-121. The amended motion is going to be, I would like to approve the resolution pending the approval by the zoning office on this matter of being the distance from the school.
Okay.
Or daycare.
Or childcare
Childcare
establishment.
establishment.
Yes. Okay.
Can I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
I'm going to abstain.
And Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Okay, so
Now
now
we have to,
take a vote on the amendment.
or the amendment.
Okay. Zoning
So
approval.
can I have a motion on that amendment?
Should we
Is that-
kind of read into the record the amended
I just did.
verbiage? That's okay? Okay. Just making sure.
Okay, so for approval on the amendment, Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
I'm going to abstain.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Passes 3-0.
Okay.
Okay, so we are now on to public
Thank you,
comment.
thank you, Councilman Smith.
There's nobody on the sheet.
No one on the sheet. Any comments from the public this evening? Yes. Yes.
Just bring it.
Janice Clonic, 432 Trinity Avenue, Cornell Heights. You'd be lost if I didn't comment. Okay, I usually don't go down Clockton Road by the Dog and Cat Cemetery, but I happen to be going down there, and there's a new housing development, and it was a great big lake, muddy lake. Is that going to be a lake, or is that just all runoff water that was there?
I think it's the construction detention basin that was the first thing that they did, was install when I went down there, I thought I saw the same thing.
Because I thought, oh my God.
Yeah, it was a detention basin. But I think it's also, there's a ton of runoff right now because the project is still
And they took all the vegetation
down, so
off
there's,
the-
nothing's really absorbing. So that's what, and it rained, I saw that,
It was so muddy.
Yes,
I
it
mean,
was
it really
bad.
caught your eye.
Yes.
You would hold the cow.
yes.
So Director Duma is on top of this. Recently, last week, they shut another job site down because there was runoff. It was going into the street, made them finish the retention pond or retention basin until that was done. They weren't allowed to do any more work. So our department, Fred's department, is doing it. He is on top of everything. I do have to give him credit. He's on top of these work sites to make sure that they don't make the roadways unsafe.
Okay, very good. And then the other thing would be to you, kind of, has Good Old Rubber been settled? Did they find out what it is? I mean, every
Yeah.
time I go past there, I just for lease, and I'm thinking,
I can't comment on that. You'd have to ask legal on that question.
okay.
Yes.
So, I mean, how can you?
Good old
No, Good
rubber,
old rubber was,
rubber on what,
if there's any
But that's
information on
gonna be a
that.
year coming up.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Good Old Rubber, has that
No.
been settled, whether it was arson or not arson?
They've actually just sued us.
There's an active investigation, so.
There's still an active investigation.
The property owner sued us?
The property owners sued us, and we are in litigation.
The property owner
I
sued
sued
you
Township, yes.
because you're investigating it.
No.
No, because he believes that, we are mean to him.
Oh, we leaned his property for the costs, and so he's fighting that.
Okay, because, I mean, it has, lease, and I'm thinking, how can you lease it if you don't clean it up first? I mean,
Yeah.
that is a disaster. So I just assumed it was still under investigation. Okay.
That property may, I'm speculating, but that property may need remediation before anything else
It
can
does.
happen on that
The state has
property.
required that he clean it up, with, assuming there's asbestos on the property, because
Probably because the building is there before I was born.
It was packed to the gills with, I mean, it took so many days to put that fire out because of
the
the,
flammable.
Yeah.
So the state believes it, and has communicated to him several times, that they have to prove, he has to prove to them that he has cleaned it up within the protocols of cleaning up asbestos infected, not infected, but asbestos-related materials. When he has that plan in place with the state, then we can give him a permit to do the cleanup. But until the state is satisfied, we cannot do anything.
Good.
Oh, okay.
Is that through the DEP?
The DP and labor, believe it or not.
Good.
All right. Okay, and then on that note, then I wish you all a most happy Easter. Hope the funny visit you.
Happy
Lots of talk.
Easter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Janice.
Janice, that project's on my mind because I pass by it every day.
Janice,
so.
at the next council meeting, don't be late. No. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding,
I'm
Janice.
4 minutes before it starts.
It's true. You're fine. You're fine.
This is coming from, no, I'm joking.
You got me. I opened the door for that one.
Anyway, Lisa.
Good evening, Lisa Williams, Briner Lane. Have the Board of Health dates for 2024 been set yet?
Good question.
I don't know.
I will
I
announce
don't know
them,
if they
Lisa,
have
at my
been for the
next-
whole year, but I do know they've set the next meeting date.
I think they did with
Hold on.
you. We just
Oh,
talked
no,
about it
it's not my
today.
computer. I can't look at that.
Yeah, look.
I don't know if it's on
I know
my
she,
calendar.
I thought Kathy did give it to me.
Oh. Well,
So,
then I can't look at that.
Yeah, it's the second meeting in April, I believe.
I can look at the date, it's fine. Second meeting in April.
Yes, I think it's,
I thought it
I
was
want to
definitely
say
one of
it's
the
the
meetings.
16th.
It was
but-
definitely one of the meetings in
I want to
April.
agree, but I can check and let
I
you
can
know
check the
tomorrow.
calendar. Second meeting in April. I'll figure that one out. Thank you so much.
Just talked about
Um,
it today.
I was looking at the list of meetings because I was curious if the budget workshop meeting dates had been set, and I noticed that January 22nd was a special council meeting at the senior center, but there wasn't a council meeting at the senior center. Can someone explain why that was put on there as a special
Kathy,
meeting?
if you-
Yeah.
Oh, this was
the forum.
this was the forum
It was
on
the
the,
forum.
but it read as a council meeting.
So I was looking for budget workshops, and I looked at the list of dates. And under council meetings, January 22nd, 2024 was a special council meeting at the senior center. I thought, how did I miss that? So I looked at my own
Right.
personal calendar. I went, that was the
From the
mayor's.
public hearing, yeah.
They were anticipating a quorum, so we have to give public notice if we're all going to be in a meeting where we have a quorum.
Correct.
Because of the Open Public Meeting Act, we have to advertise.
I know you have to. but
Council
I never
didn't
saw it
conduct any
advertised
business.
anywhere as being a council meeting, so that caught me off guard, and I thought, was that because I know I saw 3 council members in the room?
Yes,
Is that why?
yes, yes. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
And Kathy, maybe, you know, we can work together on just nailing down maybe the schedule with Kathy
Yes.
Fitzgerald just for the remainder of the year.
Yes.
And we can announce that as well.
And they may have done it already, and I'm just not aware of it, but
Okay.
we'll figure that out.
Okay,
All right.
thank you. Any other comments from the public? Seeing none, my council colleagues, anyone want to make comment? Councilman Pepero?
I just want to say, great meeting, everybody. Light agenda. I'm not going to beleaguer the meeting with any comments. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
I'm going to belabor the meeting with some comments. I'm going to say thank you, Councilman Pepero, for your attention to the details of that one resolution. I appreciate your diligence there. I just want to one more time congratulate the Nottingham North Stars, a bunch of academic stars at Nottingham that we got to meet tonight, so I was glad to do that. And tonight's agenda, you know, once again, just reflective of progress on various fronts, economic fronts, on the municipal building project. So glad to continue to see progress in all directions. Appreciate it. Thanks. Good night.
Thank you, Councilman Ty. Councilman?
Yep. Thank you, Council President. I agree, Councilman Ty, sorry. I'm concurring with you a lot tonight. But to see the movement and direction which we're taking with the solar project, the municipal building is great to see. And also congratulations to our North Stars. Sorry, I have to say it multiple times since that's our school. But just two quick things. I just want to mention, just in general, we have many different religious holidays coming up amongst Jewish faith, Islam, and Christian holidays. So just to keep, I wish everyone a good and peaceful time with their families and an easy fast. And we have an exciting event coming up at the John O. Wilson Center. Well, not at the center. It's going to be at Robert Wood Johnson Wellness Center on April 26th. We're having our very first turkey tray. So if you want to put that on your calendar as a fun night we're planning to help out our Wilson Center that does a lot of great things for our community that's much needed. And with that, I'll just say, I just want to mention too, Autism Awareness Month is coming up. So keep your eyes open. We have some events coming up for that. So with that, I'll say just thank you for coming out tonight and have a good night.
Thank you, Councilwoman. You've now taken a lead on listing all the events, so I appreciate you doing that. And we didn't even orchestrate that, so I appreciate your efforts there. We have decided on 4 budget evenings. Those specific details will be coming out of the clerk's office in the next few days. And an alternate date of which would be a 5th day if we need to, go into that 5th day. And knowing how much I love the budget, that might happen. No, seriously. So we'll definitely have all that information for you soon. I want to thank you all for attending. I also want to just thank Brittany, our temporary deputy clerk this evening for her efforts. It's not easy keeping me in check, but you did a great job. And Danielle as well, this is your first meeting. Thank you for being here with us. And thank you to the team. Look forward to, and happy Easter, everyone, and any other holiday that you celebrate during this season. Hopefully, it's a beautiful one with family and friends. Thank you all for being here this evening. The meeting is adjourned.
No, it's not.
What?
It's National Women's
Oh, that's right.
So I just want to, I did leave it up to the council president.
I forgot.
Happy
There you go.
Public Office Day.
Thank you, Councilman, very much. Thank you.
That's right.
Our lone woman on the council, you carry the weight of all of us sometimes. As my colleague and my friend, I just wanted to make sure you got recognized tonight.
Thank you. That's much appreciated.
Thank you, Councilman Pipero. Meeting adjourned.
I even saved it.
I know. If I don't write it down.
You even tipped him.
He tipped you on it.